Welcome to the Explainer. Have you ever really stopped to think about how a single click can connect you to, well, anything? Movies, friends, a world of information? It feels like magic. But today, we're going to pull back the curtain and explore the invisible highways that make it all happen, computer networks. Let's map out this hidden world that powers your entire digital life. So here's our game plan. We're going to start right at home, in your own personal digital neighborhood. Then we'll zoom out to look at the city plans, or topologies, that lay everything out. After that, we'll meet the key workers, the hardware that does all the heavy lifting. Then we'll see how these digital cities connect across the globe. And finally, we'll talk about how we guard the city gates to keep it all safe. All right, let's dive right in with something you're already an expert at managing, even if you don't realize it, your very own home network. Just think about it for a second. Your laptop, your phone, that smart TV, they're all constantly chatting with each other. Without even trying, you've basically built a small, bustling digital neighborhood right there in your living room, where everything is shared flawlessly. Now, in the networking world, this has a name. It's called a local area network, or LAN for short. The best way to picture it is like your own private little street. All the devices in your house or your office are connected on this super fast, local road, letting them talk to each other in a snap. But what happens when you need to send something outside your neighborhood, maybe across the country or even across the globe? Well, that's where the Wide Area Network, or WAN, comes in. If your LAN is the local side streets, the WAN is the whole system of interstate highways and international flight paths that connect all those digital cities together. Okay, so just like any real city, a digital city needs a really solid plan to work right. And in networking, that blueprint is what we call a topology. A topology is really just the street map of your network. It lays out how all the different buildings, your devices, are connected to each other, and it dictates the exact paths that data can take to get from point A to point B. Now, there are a few common city plans out there. You've got the ring, where devices are all linked up in a big circle, kind of like a subway line. Then there's the mesh, which is this super resilient web where literally everything is connected to everything else. But let's be honest, the undisputed champion for most homes and offices is the star topology. It's just so simple. Every single device connects to one central point, your Wi-Fi router. And this is where the design choices get really interesting. See, for a home network, keeping costs down is a huge deal, which makes that simple star layout a perfect choice. But now picture a smart city with thousands of sensors managing traffic, utilities, everything. For that, reliability is absolutely critical. A single failure could be a disaster, right? So a mesh network with all its backup connections becomes the only logical choice. Okay, so we've got our city plan. But who are the essential workers out there making sure all the traffic keeps flowing? Let's meet the hardware that is the true backbone of our digital city. First up, the router. The router is basically the traffic cop of our entire city. It stands at those major intersections, right where your local network meets the giant, sprawling internet, and its whole job is to direct traffic, telling data packets exactly which way to go to find their destination on a totally different network. Next, we have the switch. Now, while a router directs traffic between different networks, a switch is more like an internal mail system for one single building. It makes sure that a message you send from your laptop to your printer goes straight to the printer and doesn't get lost and end up at your smart TV by mistake. It keeps all the local traffic moving smoothly inside its own network. And finally, the modem. Its name is actually a mashup of modulator, demodulator, which is really just a fancy way of saying it's a translator. The modem is your personal on-ramp to the internet highway. It takes the digital language your computer speaks and translates it into a signal that can travel over the physical cable lines from your internet provider, and then, of course, it does the exact same thing in reverse for all the data coming in. So, our local city is built, we know the key workers, but how do we connect it to other cities across the country or, heck, across the world? This, my friends, is the real magic of the Wide Area Network. Back in the day, big companies connecting their offices had to use something called MPLS. Think of it like leasing your own private, super expensive toll road just for your data. It was fast, it was secure, but wow, was it pricey. Today we have a much smarter way, SD-WAN. This tech is like a super intelligent GPS for your data. It looks at every possible route, your broadband, your phone's LTE, even those old MPLS lines. And in real time, it picks the absolute best path for whatever you're doing. And this is where it gets really, really cool. Imagine trying to send a huge file over a satellite link. That data has to travel thousands of miles up to space and back down, creating a huge delay, what we call latency.
It's like trying to have a conversation with someone on Mars. Well, clever technologies like TCP optimization fix this by breaking that huge file into smaller, more manageable pieces. And that is why your video call with someone on another continent is crystal clear instead of a choppy, frustrating mess. So the real takeaway here, the thing to remember, is that these intelligent networking technologies like SD-WAN are the true unsung heroes of our modern world. Whether you're working from home, streaming a 4K movie, or collaborating with a team on the other side of the planet, it's this smart, adaptable tech that makes it all happen and makes it fast and reliable.
A busy, thriving city is fantastic, of course, but it also needs to be safe. With all this data constantly flowing in and out, how do we protect our networks from unwanted visitors and, well, bad guys?
Well, that is the #1 job of a firewall. A firewall acts as your network's dedicated security guard, standing right at the city gates. It inspects every single piece of data, every packet that tries to get in or out, and it checks it against a list of security rules to decide if it's allowed to pass.
But look, a truly secure city is about more than just one guard at the gate. It's a whole defense strategy. It means constantly updating the software on your devices to patch any weak spots. It means changing those silly default passwords. And it means cleverly dividing your network into separate, secure zones. And of course, always keeping a watchful eye out for anything that looks weird or out of place. This idea of segmentation is an absolute game changer for security. It's like having locked gates between the different districts of your city, so even if an attacker manages to get into one area, say your guest Wi-Fi, they're trapped there. They can't just wander over into the really sensitive districts where your personal files or your work data live. It massively reduces what we call the blast zone of an attack.
So there you have it. You now have the map to your own digital world. The only question left is, how well are your gates actually guarded? Because in this connected age, understanding how it all works isn't just for the tech experts anymore. It's the very foundation of protecting your digital life.